Oh, what do the Chonk army ships look like? Lord Chonkers, how can we be a part of your army if we don't have any ships to fly? Oh, don't you worry, my soldiers and generals. For in this episode, we will be looking at just that. Holy fuck is all I have to say. And it's all I ever say. But this is the... I don't have a name for it yet, but this is the Chonk fighter. So this is the kind of coloration that we will be having for our ships in the future. And yeah, I kind of started with something just a little random. There was nothing really to it. I just knew that I wanted some sort of fuselage and then a big kind of engine cell in the back where all the thrust happens. And I have it separated in the fighter as combat thrust and then the ion thrust. So the ion thrust is just literally for like small maneuvers. So if you're just in a tight place that you don't want a lot of like this giant thrust, you can turn off all the hydrogen thrusters and only use the ion. Also, if you need to save fuel for the hydrogen thrusters for combat, you can just turn that off. We have 4 small on each side, so that's 8 small shield generators to give this strike fighter just a little more protection. And if you notice, it's not a fighter, it's a strike fighter, so it has all around capabilities. It's got 8 missiles for attacking bases, you know, where you need a lot of firepower. It also has an MK battery gun on the bottom, which is essentially just a big cannon, and it's pretty accurate. It's got a pretty high velocity, so you can kind of shoot down fighters with it if you so choose, but again, it's more for taking out bigger ships. You only have I think it's 7 shots in this. Then we have the classic NATO round Gatling turrets. I was gonna use a modded gun, but instead I thought I'd just go with this. Give it a little more vanilla. So if you download it off the workshop, which yes, it's on, the only thing it's gonna get rid of is this gun and these shield generators, which if you paste it in and these parts are just floating or don't come in, you can just add little blocks there and it should be fine. But in terms of a fighter, I think it looks great. It looks amazing. I love it. I love how I took out these wings. I got the inspiration from, I don't know what ship it's called, but it's from the game Star Citizen. They have this kind of like wing structure that comes out and then it goes back and then up. So when you look at it, there's this little gap. And on theirs, I believe they actually have guns on the wings, like back here. And I think there's a turret on it. Either way, and there's two pilots for it, but this is just a single pilot craft. It looks great, it flies great, and I really hope you guys like it. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. You were probably hoping that your lore would design some sort of frigate, some sort of corvette, cruiser, or whatever. I've come up with a little solution. I have a challenge for all of you. All of you who are interested in taking this challenge. For all of these awesome builders and great generals and soldiers that we have in the Chonk army, I want you to build and design what you think would look great for a Chonkers frigate. A frigate, okay? Now, as far as frigate sizes go, I feel like this is a good size for all generic frigates in Space Engineers, just because of how Space Engineers works, and if you want to have fleet battles, this size should work with most computers and most battle scenarios that you want to come up with and make. Anyways, for a frigate, it is between the lengths of 30 blocks and 49. So that means you have this much space to work with. If it's any lower, if it's in this yellow area, it becomes a corvette. I wanted you guys to design a frigate because I feel like bigger ships are a little easier to make, in the sense that you can add a little more detail, whereas a corvette, you're kind of limited to the size and how much thrust and what you can put in it, as well as your ship can have 10 gun mounts. And what this means, any modded weapon, to a reasonable degree, I am going to choose the winner of the Chonk Army Frigate in looks, style, flight, lore, and overall fairness. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have 10 Big Berthas, which are one of the strongest modded weapons that I know of. So 10 guns, that makes sense, and as long as you can think of lore to back it up, it's a good contender for this upcoming special episode. So yes, as we end this episode, I want you to take back and accept this challenge that I've challenged you. Download the color palette that I have, which is right over here. This is what it looks like. Very simple. It's a color palette. It's the Chonk color palette for all of our Chonk Army ships. It's got our faction blue, industrial yellow if you want a little bit of a different color. It's got an off-white. It's got a light gray, a dark gray, and if you have which I strongly suggest getting, the VSI mod, thruster mod, I believe it's called. My soldiers will confirm that. If you go into the settings of this block, you can see the settings that I have for the color of thruster. If not, I can always change it in my world, it's fine. But yes, download this color palette, follow my instructions in terms of size and gun mounts, and I will determine the winner of the Chonk Army Frigate. Go forth, my soldiers! Accept my challenge! Build a ship so I can review it and decide a winner for our great and ever-growing army. Also, the fighters on the workshop, feel free to download that if you want hangar bays inside the ship of your Chonk Army Frigate. Remember, you can make a carrier class frigate if that's what you want to do. Just saying. But that's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And I can't wait to see your creations if you so choose to accept my challenge. If you're not a fucking pussy. All jokes aside, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next. And as always, stay safe, stay chonk, stay amazing as always. Stay happy. Stay happy. Don't let sad things get you down. Your Lord himself, Chonkers, out.